Well, hello everybody. Christofori for the first time in several months. I was actually, just to be honest, was holding out for a couple of people that might want to come by and check the place out before I did the video of it. But as would be good advice to anybody, should not really put your faith and trust in people because they're always apt to let you down. And that's not anything against them, that's just human nature. So put your faith and trust in God and He will definitely take care of you. He'll never let you down. My intent is to go ahead and build a instrument library of sorts, or a sample library on my site, and just provide it for free, using some of these synths here and just some other sounds and things that I may have recorded. And one of those that I'm going to actually show you something cool that I actually have used it in my latest song, my latest little single, Believe. You should check it out if you haven't. The instrument actually is just a wine glass, glass harp. You can basically just wet your fingers and play the rim of the glass, which some people actually who know me in person know that I can do that. But anyway, I took some samples of that and manipulated them somewhat and put them in Believe. Quantum Leap's play. I have to run it as a standalone player because they won't look at an issue, preventing me from running it as a VST as it should run. Okay, this should be the beginning of the first time we make it to the chorus. Just to kind of give you an idea what we're actually working with, I'm going to leave just the instruments on and let you hear just a little bit of it. To kind of get back into the play thing, I actually have to control it via another VST sending MIDI signals out from the tracker into play. But specifically what we're talking about is this particular sound right here. And at this point you can kind of tell it still sounds like almost a sine wave, but you can hear a little bit of resonance in there of the glasses. Let me just pick this particular instrument up. Alright, here's our wine glass. And I've actually set some vibrato in the tracker. You could actually turn that off if you would like, but to get the sample, which does look similar to a sine wave when you view in closely at it, just pretty much a sine wave. Really, really long sine wave. Set some loop points on it, which any of the instruments that I'm going to provide samples and whatnot she'll already have loop points defined for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Some people are really good at it, some people are not. I'm pretty decent at it for the most part. I like to think so anyway. And of course I don't always use bidirectional loops, but this time it was so long, why not? So that's why you go into the instrument tab and you have an envelope set up for your volume. If you notice as it goes by it's going to get louder, and then sustain here where I've got it picked, and then as soon as I let off the key it'll come back down. And of course we've heard this area here. It's been some time since I've worked in the tracked version of this. I'm going to have to figure out which of these is the chorus. I think it's this one. Do some glissando, which some people say I overuse. And some tremors. I love tremors for that electronic stuff. Some additional tight vibrato just in the channel commands. So that kind of gives you a funky little weird ghosty organ sound. Majority of the notes mapped are using one sample, mainly because I'm doing a lot of glissandos. When you have different notes or different samples mapped to different notes, you try to glissando from one down to something that's using a different sample, you're going to hear a pop in the sound. But these samples that will be on the website, there's going to be a special samples and instruments section appearing before too much longer. I may actually have to go ahead and move my web server to a new machine before I do this. I'm not sure what traffic to expect, but generally people like me and anybody else that's making music for free will jump at the chance to get free samples if they don't already have something better. So I'm going to try to provide some unique sounds that of course a lot of people know I like to blend sounds together to make instruments and whatnot. I still do that, but with the East, West, and Garrett and libraries, there's less of a need to, because you're not trying to make, you know, an alternate for a French horn sound when you've already got a French horn sound, things like that. But at any rate, let's see what I did the third time, which is kind of alternating where some of the trimmers are coming in and going out. Some of them you'll see the yellow in the middle instead of the, like that one had yellow, this one's got yellow. That's an actual vibrato hit instead of trimmers, so you're kind of getting some alternating phasing going on and whatnot. Let's hear what this sounds like. This is some of the stuff that I was trying to find to show you. Basically, I like to do all sorts of effects on things. This one's only a couple of effects, but if you reverse a sound and then you add echo and reverb to it and then you reverse it back the way it was, you get a pre-echo, and there's probably effects that do that for you, but it doesn't feel the same to me for some reason as the actual process of going through it all yourself. That's the effect that I added to kind of give it the whole ghostly, ethereal feel to our already kind of ghostly sounding organ that we made out of wine glasses. So here is just a regular wine glass from the tracker. This channel here. And we've got our other one here, which by themselves don't give you enough. So together, it doesn't sound like a wine glass anymore. There's my little demo of how to take a wine glass and turn it into a really spooky sounding, cool, vibey organ. And to show off some of the cool things that God blessed me with, I would be so much less of a person than He's completed me. He's made me into someone I could not be because of all the stuff I had done over time. The history with drugs and everything else. Went way overboard with things. I was a very selfish person. Very, very selfish. For most of my life, with some exception whenever I would listen to Him. So I've known Him since I was a very young child, but I did not ever fully trust Him until about this time last year. It's been about a year since that revival. Praise God. And you know, I just realized that it's not all about me. It never was, and I always knew that on some level, but it's definitely not. It's all about Him, you know, and it's all about telling you guys about Him. So, thanks for joining me for my latest video blog, and I hope that you may have learned something cool or gained some little insight into my psyche, perhaps. Maybe it's a little scary. Surely not too bad. But anyway, thanks again. God bless, and we'll see you next time.